First of all, we're going to have someone up speaking, Father Dave Smith. Now, Father Dave Smith, as you probably all know, is a punch-drunk priest from Marrickville. He's a wonderful man, and he's been at the forefront of helping with the Assange campaign from the beginning. A good friend. He's actually been inspired with Julian at the embassy, so he is a very, very close compadre and a very good I'd like to say a few words.
In nome Patria, Filii, Spiritus Sancti. Sisters, brothers, it's good to be with you again. Actually, it's depressing to be with you again. It's good to be amongst friends, but how many times have we done this? Here we are again. And yet the situation with Julian hasn't changed, and yet here I have this worn-out poster now, courtesy of my friend Luke Cornish, the crucified Assange. Time marches on, the suffering of Julian continues, and I know there's plenty of people who say they find this image offensive. It seems to me the longer we go on, the more appropriate it becomes, because the whole concept of crucifixion as a form of imperial control was a slow way of killing someone. I mean, it was a good way of getting rid of your enemies, but it was a way of doing it slowly. I mean, people would die over days and even over weeks. I often think of the image on the Via Appia. It was 200 kilometres long, 73 BC, that the revolt of Spartacus, the great slave revolt, was put down. 6,000 slaves, men I assume, 6,000 men crucified across the Via Appia. I did the maths. That means every 75 metres you'd see a tortured soul on either side of the road. It's the same length as from Sydney to Goulburn. That's a trip I take quite regularly. And I imagine what it'll be like every 75 metres from Sydney all the way to Goulburn, seeing on either side of the road the figure of a tortured body slowly dying. I mean, some would be dead, some would be in agony still dying, some would be being visited by birds of prey, others would be being humiliated by passers-by. You'd get the message, wouldn't you? I mean, this wasn't just a way of officially disposing of your enemies, it was a way of disposing with them slowly and publicly. And this is why the cross, before it was ever a symbol of faith, was a symbol of imperial control. It was a way in which the empire lets you know that we are powerful, you are nothing. We have control of life and death. You do what we say, you don't speak up, or you will be or this is what will happen to you. I don't know if there's other fans of Naomi Wolf here. I've recently read her book, Facing the Beast. Interesting, she seriously suggesting that we may be seeing in our day resurgence of some of the ancient gods, the gods of Rome, and before that the gods of the Canaanites and the Amorites, gods like Molech and Baal, gods that demand human sacrifice. I think she proposes this quite seriously, and I think it needs to be taken seriously, for I do think that the sinister nature of our world and the despicable way in which Julian has been treated goes beyond just the evil machinations of individual human beings. We're dealing with something really deep and sinister and powerful. It is ultimately, I believe, a spiritual battle, which is depressing, but at the same time deeply encouraging, because I think, again, we come back to this symbol of the cross. I think we're on the right side of this battle. Ultimately, I do believe that these forces frankly, just forces of wickedness that are silencing free speech and that are crucifying the messenger will have to ultimately be defeated. The very fact the symbol of imperial power became a symbol of faith is a reminder that ultimately there are some people who cannot be crucified. There are some voices that cannot be silenced. Julian, I believe, will come back. And next time we meet, I trust, next time we're all together, I trust it won't be for yet another protest, but we will meet to celebrate the resurrection of our brother, and we will do it with great joy. God bless you all.